Morning. Welcome to the first episode of TY24 Sports. You can still call it Ty Sports Picks 24, but it's easier to find on social media and YouTube. So I switched it up to TY24 Sports. If you type either one in, it'll still come up. But if you're trying to spread it to your friends and family members, tell them to look up TY24 or TY24 Sports. It's much easier to find it that way. We got an action-packed show. Also, please donate to the channel. Down at the bottom is $TY Rebel22. In the Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok is now TY24 Sports or TY Sports Picks 24. I would just go with the TY24 Sports because it pops out easier and it's easier to find it that way. There's a couple Ty Sports, but there's only one TY24 Sports. Here goes the picks, but also look out for the bonuses. I got a couple bonuses, and I have the points. So I'm only giving you who I'm picking, but I'm not giving you the point picks yet. You got to watch the full show for that. So for the points, these are money line picks only. We got Miami over South Florida, Clemson over NC State, Cal over Florida State, Arkansas over Auburn, Utah over Oklahoma State, USC over Michigan, Cincinnati over Houston, Kansas over West Virginia, and then Virginia Tech over Rutgers. So I'm remembering the whole schedule off the top of my head because it only showed you the winner. I had to think about who they're facing. Okay, so now let's go to ESPN really quick and check out the full schedule. And I'm going to periodically be dropping in some of those bonus picks. Matter of fact, if you're paying attention, I'm going to give you your first bonus in a second. I'm going to give you your first bonus in 1 second. Just give me 1 second. Let me pull up ESPN and get the schedule going for you guys. Because it's an early game. It's one of the 12 o'clock games. So if you look at the 12 o'clock games, we actually got two of the bonuses. So the first bonus game is going to be Ohio State and Marshall. If you can't take Ohio State money line. But if you can, try to do Marshall plus 39.5. I think Marshall can stay within 40 points. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think go with Marshall plus 49.5. So that's going to be a bonus. Now going on to Clemson and NC State. As you guys know, I already picked Clemson. As far as those points, they're giving Clemson minus 18. Anybody with a brain, though, that's too many points. So I would go against that spread. I would go plus 18 for NC State because C.J. Bailey is playing pretty good. So you can consider that a bonus too. So those are some of the bonuses for the day. Those are some of the bonuses, but let me put the regular picks back up in case you haven't put your ticket in yet. Now we're going on to Florida and Mississippi State. So you guys getting a lot of bonuses quick. Okay, so Florida and Mississippi State, they have Florida minus 7. Let's go Florida minus 3. Let's go Florida minus 3. I think Florida pulls it off on the road. Then we got Indiana, and that's going to be another bonus. So, and then we got Indiana against Charlotte. Indiana minus 29. That's a lot of points. I think Indiana will win, though. We got North Carolina versus James Madison. I was about to say George Mason. I'm thinking basketball. Okay, James Madison at North Carolina. North Carolina switching coaches. James Madison is actually a competitive G5 school. Minus 11 is a lot of points. I would go North Carolina minus 3 or James Madison plus 11. Now we got Cincinnati in Houston. Cincinnati is hosting Houston. If you're looking at your screen, which I hope you are, at the bottom, you see that Cincinnati is the money line winner. As far as this point spread, it's 3.5. So we'll leave the spread alone. But if you want, you could take the points. I think they'll beat Houston by that 3.5. Now we got West Virginia hosting Kansas. So I actually got an upset, and a lot of my upsets have been coming true. Unfortunately or fortunately, depending on who you were rooting for. I said Illinois may beat Nebraska, and they did last night in overtime. I said that App State could lose to South Alabama, and they did. Even in high school, I said that Central could beat my American Heritage, and it happened. So maybe I'm Nostradamus, but I be knowing these things. Even with Stanford on the road, you're going to see later, we're going to bring up the video in a late field goal to beat Syracuse, which is a very good team in the ACC. This was Stanford's first ACC game. So watch out for my upsets. I put them in the shorts. I put them on the Instagram and on YouTube. In the shorts, you got to look out for my upsets. I also got the NFL upsets for tomorrow. You should look them up. They're on the page, on this same page. Look up TY24 Sports, and they'll come up. Okay. Let's see. West Virginia. Yeah, West Virginia. They got West Virginia minus 1.5, and I got Kansas winning. So take Kansas plus 1.5 and take Kansas money line. Then we got Louisiana hosting Tulane. They got Tulane minus 2. I take that. I take that spread. That's not one of my original picks, and I'm seeing it now. I'll take that. They got Army minus 7 against Rice. I'll leave that one alone. Rice is playing pretty tough this year. Got Kentucky minus 19.5. See if you could just money line Kentucky. Okay, Iowa State and Arkansas State. Iowa State minus 21. That's too many points. See if you can money line that. I do minus 13.5. Arkansas State will score some points. You got Virginia going to Coastal Carolina. That's dangerous. They can actually lose that game. I would stay away from that one. I would stay away from that one, or I would take Coastal Carolina plus 9.5 if you can, or plus 7.5. Okay, let's see some more interesting games. Okay, now we got Michigan and USC. Now with Alex Orji switching the quarterback, Sharon Moore switching to Alex Orji off of Warren Davis. I think they didn't have as much confidence in Alex Orji, but even USC coach Lincoln Riley said that he's not going to take him lightly. He actually recruited him out of high school. I think it's more of an indictment on the conservative coaching style of Jim Harbaugh and Sharon Moore. Maybe they can't bring the most out of certain players. I think Alex Orji, if you give him some RPOs and you just let him play, he's actually thrown 2 touchdowns and no interceptions, while Warren Davis, the supposed better quarterback, has thrown like 6, not 6 interceptions, but he had 6 total turnovers. I think he had 3 picks against Arkansas State a week ago. So basically, I feel like Michigan goes as Alex Orji and the running game goes. They still have one of the top tight ends in the country. They got some pretty okay average receivers. But I think, the line went from 6.5 or 7 to now it's minus 4 USC. I would take maybe USC minus 2.5, or maybe take Michigan plus 9.5. There may be a chance that Michigan pulls this one off, but I would just go with USC to be safe. Maybe take that off your ticket and do that as a single bet. Okay, LSU versus UCLA. It's not a matter of LSU. Will they win? It's just how much. UCLA is a scrappy team, but it's minus 21 for LSU. Let's go minus 13.5 for LSU. Notre Dame against Miami of Ohio, minus 27.5. Notre Dame won by a country mile last week. They won 66-3 or something like that, something crazy against Purdue. But I don't think they'll have the same chip on their shoulder. Let's go Notre Dame minus 20.5 if you can, or minus 21. Something lower than that 27.5. That's a lot of points. Now we got Georgia Tech and Louisville. That's one of our picks, I believe. Oh, no. I just gave it away. That's one of my bonuses. Who do you guys think I'm going with in this one? We got Georgia Tech and we got Louisville. If you guess Georgia Tech, you guess wrong. I'm going to go with Louisville, and it's actually minus 10 for Louisville. They're a big-time ACC team, but Georgia Tech is no joke. I don't want to go against the spread too much, but I would just do this. I would go Louisville minus 2.5. I think Georgia Tech is going to fight. Either Louisville minus 6.5 or 2.5. I would just go, minus 2.5 to be safe, or minus maybe 4.5. Maybe they win by just a touchdown, but that's giving them a lot because Georgia Tech is a tough team. It's just they got a tough schedule in this ACC. Now you got Auburn hosting Arkansas. Auburn is favored by 2.5. This is a duck. I don't know who did this line, but if you actually watch football and you've seen Auburn and seen Arkansas, how can you believe that Auburn is going to win? Maybe you think they're just going to bounce back. No, my friend. Take Arkansas plus 2.5. Take Arkansas money line. Then we got Rutgers going to Virginia Tech. I would take Rutgers if they were home, but I feel like Virginia Tech is going to be able to protect their home. It's Virginia Tech minus 3.5. Let's go Virginia Tech minus 2.5 in money line. Then we have we have Arizona State and Texas Tech. There's going to be another bonus because I didn't put this on the regular ticket. Okay, they got Texas Tech minus 3.5. I'm feeling kind of froggy. I'm going to go Arizona State plus 9.5. They may win. I'm not bold enough to take the money line, but take Arizona State plus 9.5. If they lose, it'll be close. Okay, now we have Memphis minus 8.5 against Navy. Let's go Memphis minus 6.5. They're going to Navy. Let's give Navy some respect. Okay, now you got Utah in Oklahoma State. Yeah, I'm jumping the gun. I think I already went over the Arkansas State game. But anyway, Oklahoma State hosting Utah. This is -1. So that means they don't know who's going to win. I would take Utah -1 in Utah money line. Let's respect Oklahoma State. You saw what they did against Arkansas. That's why people think Arkansas is not good. And that's another thing. We got to get out of that. That's why a lot of people are sleeping on Kansas, and West Virginia's going to find out today. Don't think because the team lost or because the team is winning, they're good or they're bad. Look at the games. Look at the schedule. Look at who they're playing. Look at the box score. I would actually watch football. I would tell you guys to watch football, but that's too much like doing the right thing to do. But don't be fooled by stats. Stats can be deceptive. Okay, so now we got Vanderbilt going to Missouri. Missouri -18. Vanderbilt's a scrappy team. Let's go Missouri -9.5. You may not be able to buy it down to that. Let's do Missouri money line, Missouri -9.5 or the closest you can get to 10. Because I feel like Vanderbilt's going to fight. We got a rivalry game, TCU versus SMU. I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it, but it's actually a video online or a picture online of an actual judge in the city of Dallas having a derogatory statement on his shirt, basically forget TCU or whatever. Because I guess he's an SMU grad. Some people saying he's on the bandwagon, so I don't know if he used to be for TCU. But long story short, they got TCU -2, but SMU is the host. I don't even know if I want to touch this game. I would say drop this game or just go with Vegas. This is a game that I probably would go with Vegas with TCU, but I don't know. Because SMU, I have seen them. I've seen TCU. TCU seems like the more consistent team. If you have to choose this game, then just go TCU or money line. I know what? No, I got a trick for you. Go either team +7.5 because it'll be close. It'll be close as a touchdown game. I would probably lean towards TCU +7.5. Let's do it that way. That way, no matter what, you don't lose. Okay, now we got Miami versus South Florida. There's been a lot of jarring back and forth online. South Florida, this is one of their best teams in recent memory. I know they were really good back in the UCF South Florida days in the 2016s and 2017s and so on. And then they were really, really good in around 2007 and stuff when they were in the Big East. But they're getting there, and I heard they're going to announce that South Florida is going to be a Power 5 school. They're going to be a part of the new Pac-12, them, Tulane, Memphis, and possibly be either UNLV or UT San Antonio, UTSA. So this is probably going to be the last matchup for a while between Miami and Florida. Miami and South Florida, where South Florida is not on equal playing field as a power conference team. So they already see themselves as equal to Miami, and they play Alabama's close. So I say all of that to say this. Miami is dangerous, but so is South Florida. If Miami gets up on them, they may put that 17 up on them. So let's do this. How about let's go Miami the closest you can to -9.5. Let's try to get it to -9.5. I don't think it's going to be a touchdown game, but I don't think it's just going to be a complete blowout. I mean, if you get to 17, fine. I would go Miami money line. I would go Miami -9.5 because South Florida is coming for them, but I don't think they have enough because Mario Cristobal has his team intense. They're focused. They are not overlooking this. They look at this like the replacement for Florida State since Florida State is laid down and South Florida is standing up, them and UCF. It's not that Florida is not having good teams this year. It's just not the teams you're used to. It's Miami, South Florida, and UCF. Those are the big three. Florida and Florida State, get out of here with that. Okay, now, and I love those two schools, by the way. It's just they're not living up to their standard. I got them on my wall, so you know I do. Okay, Northwestern going to their Big Ten opponent, Washington. They got Washington -12. Washington coming off a big upset against Washington State, but Northwestern is nothing to sleep on. Let's take Washington -6.5 in money line. 12 points is a lot to give somebody. Here goes another Florida school, Florida Atlantic against UConn. Florida Atlantic just beat FIU. I was surprised. Now they got UConn -1. Take Florida Atlantic +1. Take Florida Atlantic money line. They will not lose to UConn. Better believe it. Okay, now we got Cal at Florida State. This is a dangerous game if the coach wakes up, but if it's thick. So I'm going to take Cal. I'm going to take Cal, as you see on the screen at the bottom. Cal is one of my picks. If I'm wrong, hey, I'm wrong. But Florida State has to prove it. But just to keep you guys safe, it definitely won't be a blowout. How about we take Cal +7.5? Just in case Florida State wakes up somehow. you know. But I don't even think you could do that probably unless it's live betting. But just see if you can, just in case. But I wouldn't mind if you take Cal money line. Okay, so now we got Tulsa and Louisiana Tech. Louisiana Tech minus 2.5. I would take that, and I would definitely take a Louisiana Tech at home money line. Then we got the big game of the night: Oklahoma hosting Tennessee. Oklahoma hosting Tennessee. Now, this is going to be one of my big bonuses for the day. This is a big-time bonus. Who's he going to go with? Who is TY24 Sports going to go with? Yeah, TY24 Sports. Remember that. Tell your mama, tell your dad, tell your pastor, tell everybody. I'm going with now the line is plus, minus 6.5 for Tennessee. I'm gonna go. Am I gonna do this? I'm trying to think, man, because I don't want to steer you guys wrong. You know what? We just gonna do Tennessee money line. I was gonna go Boomer sooner, but not so fast, my friend. I'm gonna go Tennessee money line, but I won't take that minus 6.5. So we're gonna go Tennessee money line. So yeah, you guys take that. I was gonna go Oklahoma. I was gonna do it, but I'm gonna take Tennessee money line. The reason why I won't give you any points because I feel like either way it goes, these are two schematic battles, not just talent battles. They both have talent, but they're bad matchups for each other. So I feel like either Brent Venables is going to win or Josh Heupel is going to win. But for some reason, I feel like Josh Heupel in the game, they will win. But don't be surprised if it's a close one. But I just don't know how close. So I don't even want to give you guys any point spread. If you're going to take Tennessee, take them +1 or -1 if you just have to have points to go with it. Okay, because I really wanted to say Oklahoma in my heart, but I got to go with my head, So if you want to do that separate off your ticket so it doesn't ruin your ticket, because that's a ticket ruiner, I would leave that one alone. Now we got Iowa at Minnesota, -2.5. Take money line, take the spread, take the points for Iowa. Minnesota's okay. Iowa is a good team. People just think because Iowa State was a bad matchup for them schematically. What it was Iowa was trying to play up the middle. Iowa State was playing on the outside, and the outside won. They just gambled and they won, All right, so now we got Ole Miss minus 35 against Georgia Southern. I usually don't like those type of spreads, but we're going to take 35 and we're going to take the money line if it's there. Okay, now another big one. I believe this is on my ticket. No, it's not. So this is going to be one of my bonuses, the last bonuses for the day. Okay, we got Boston College hosting an undefeated Michigan State team that's on a roll. They got Boston College -5.5. Let's take Boston College -2.5, baby. Michigan State's no joke. Then we got Coach Prime in Colorado -1 hosting Baylor. I take Colorado -1. I take it. I like Colorado. I like them to defend their crown. Then we got Oregon State hosting Purdue for a late night game. Well, not that late. It's 8:30 on CW. They got Oregon State -2.5. That's perfect. I think Purdue's gonna try to fight back, but Oregon State's gonna try to fight back after that Oregon game. I'll ride with the home team. I think they'll pull it through. Then we got BYU hosting number 13, Kansas State. They got Kansas State -6.5. Let's take Kansas State money line. I don't know. BYU is dangerous. That's another one that could mess up your ticket. Do that as a single bet. I know you guys don't want to do single bets, but please be advised. Don't mess up your ticket or try to round robin. I think the Hard Rock has something called flex, where if you miss one pick, you still can get some money payout. Like let's say you got a 5 pick. If you get 4, you get a certain amount. If you get 3, you get a certain amount. Do not put everything on these certain games. Tennessee and Oklahoma, that's money line at Tennessee with this BYU and Kansas State game. Maybe you want to live bet that. But I would say let's take Kansas State -2.5 or Kansas State money line. BYU is tough at home. They are not a joke. They're in the Big 12 for a reason. Now, let's go over to Instagram. In the words of Yo Gotti, I love the gram. Let's go over to Instagram and take a look at some video footage since I don't use YouTube to prevent copyright strikes. Sorry. Fumbling over my words, Gotta keep the ball tucked, keep your words tucked, like a running back. All right, so now First, let's go to ESPN's college football page. Like I told you guys, I had a lot of upset alerts on my upset. Matter of fact, let me see if I can pull that up and show you guys what I'm talking about for those that don't know about the upset alert videos. I'll see if I can find that for you guys. Okay, so here's what I'm talking about. I got the NFL week 3, and then also got the college football upset alert. So look out for those on the TY Sports Picks 24 or the TY24 Sports on YouTube. But speaking of those upset picks, the reason why I brought that up is because you're gonna see some of those upsets coming true. I don't want to upset anybody, but I just got to tell you the truth. I predicted this last night. Illinois on the road, number 24 at number 22, Nebraska. So this was a tough one. And it came down to overtime where we had a few questionable penalties, but you cannot leave it in the referee's hands. So Illinois goes into Lincoln and defeats Nebraska in overtime. This was a Friday night game. Illinois beats Nebraska as a 9.5-point underdog, but that was a trick line anyway. They were both undefeated ranked teams. Why would they give Nebraska 9.5 points? They were trying to set you guys up. That's why you got to really watch the games and pay attention. I just watch me, and I'll let you know. So this is Dylan Raiola holding his head like, oh, what happened? He did miss a throw in the end after he was doing his best Patrick Mahomes impression. And then we got a team that's currently in the Pac-12 and is going to be a part of the new Pac-12. Washington State beats another undefeated team. Last week they beat Washington. Now they beat San Jose State in overtime. So now they are undefeated. No, they're 4-0. So they're undefeated, but they're also 4-0 for 2 consecutive seasons. The first time since 1906 and 1907. So it's been over 100 years since they started back-to-back years 4-0. Also, this is a neat thing to look at. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But a couple teams are debuting brand new uniforms. Mississippi State. It's similar, but like nice little shiny, like a little spin to the numbers and the letters and everything. So they're gonna be hyped to go face Florida with all white on. So Florida will have on the dark uniforms on the road. And then also we got BYU. They're going to some throwbacks, going back to the Ty Detmer days. So they're hosting Kansas State. They played them in the big New Year's game back in like 2000, I want to say. So they're showing uniforms that basically are a dedication to the 2000 team. Now let's go down to another big game that we had, which was Syracuse versus Stanford. Now you see Marvin Harrison Jr., I guess making fun of his old teammate, saying Cal McCord, that was the most athletic thing I've ever seen you do. But the crazy thing about it is he was criticized for holding the ball and never running at Ohio State. Well, since he's been at Syracuse, he's been one of the best passers, and he's running well. Look at this. Racing tackle, pump faking guys. And then look, John Elway, helicopter style. Remember John Elway against the Green Bay Packers in that 97 Super Bowl, I want to say? I was little, but, I remember. And here goes another view. And the reason why I'm bringing up this other view, every time it's an instant replay review, I hate when ESPN only shows 1 or 2 views. But whenever they're trying to show a great play, they got 6 different camera views. Where are all these different cameras when you need them? So that's interesting. And now this is Cal McCord, and this is Marvin Harrison Jr. when they were teammates last year at Ohio State. And that was the good, but this is the ugly. He had a 71-yard pick six earlier in the game, and this probably came back to bite him because they ended up losing by 2 points. So this could have been a determining factor. So he did a lot of good things. But in Stanford, they got similar colors. Stanford came to win in their ACC debut. Also, Arch Manning. Remember, I was mentioning Arch Manning, the nephew of Peyton Manning. He's going to be starting for Texas against Louisiana Monroe, where General Booty. I know everybody thinks it's funny. You got Dick Butkus. You got a couple football names that are wild. Yes, his name is General Booty. He's related to John David Booty that used to play for USC. Hey, let's not make any jokes. And, hey, that's what their name is. Whenever families were getting names when they started, the world or started America, they chose Booty as their name. I don't know why. It is what it is. Then this was a big time catch. Stanford's Alex Meyer, how you say his name? Ayo Manor. Alec Ayo Manor. So they want to compare this to Odell Beckham the third. The Miami Dolphins former New York Giant Odell Beckham. So he goes up and he gets a touchdown. Because I know last week we saw a one-handed interception in the Kansas game against UNLV, but that was a pick. That wasn't a pick six. It was a big-time catch. If you know anything about Odell Beckham, let's look at the Odell Beckham catch and then look at what all Ayo Meyer did. So this is Odell Beckham against my Dallas Cowboys for the touchdown. And the guy's holding on him, and he still catches the touchdown. Now let's go back and look at Ayo Meyer and see the difference, because they're saying that this is the catch of the year. It was no pass interference, but he still went up and climbed the ladder. And then he tells the crowd, quiet down. That's the Carrier Dome. It gets louder there. This is their first ACC game. They definitely made an imprint on the ACC. They had that big time battle against TCU on Friday night, so they play pretty well on Thursdays and Fridays. So I'm excited to see Cal and Stanford in the ACC. I know the Pac-12 wants them back. Sorry, but they signed a contract, so they will not be coming back. They're ACC now, baby. So that's pretty much going to be it for the college football. Let's just skip over a little bit of high school football really quick, and then we'll get up out of here. The picks are there. I hope you got the other picks. Let's take a look really quick at two big-time games. One upset I predicted. Remember, I said that Central may beat American Heritage. Now, starting out, it looked like I was wrong, but it ended in my favor. If I can get it to load, give me 1 second, because now we're having technical difficulties. Okay, so we're gonna go right here. So this is a touchdown from the five-star Diabell. He throws a pass. The whole crowd go blur, and now they're up 21-6 early. American Heritage do pass to Denson, but that wouldn't be it. Central will come striking back with a touchdown and a two-point conversion. So this is the Penn State commit at quarterback for Central. Brent Fritz, I think that's how you say his name. And then we go on, got number 10, striking out, Pico. Sorry, I'm saying your name wrong. He breaks the long one. And that makes it 21-21. So Central made the comeback. After that, Malachi Tony, the Miami Hurricane reclassification, he was a 2026, but now he's going to be a part of the 2025 class. He would try to put the American Heritage team on his back. He made a nice return, but it just was not enough. Central in the second half will go up 35-21, even though American Heritage will make a comeback of their own. So the Florida Gator, Nayshawn Montgomery, catching the touchdown, and then doing a celebration with his teammates. I like that he's not showing off. He's celebrating with the guys. Let's see it one more time, because it was kind of choppy the first time. So this is Nayshawn catching the pass in the end zone. Then later on in the game, to make it 24-35. See, Anwan Coleman with a catch. They would call this one back with a penalty. Also saw the D-line from American Heritage showing a lot. Number 90, basically getting his roll on, So shout out to Corey Simon. I don't know if he's related to Florida State Corey Simon, the Philadelphia Eagle. He probably is, because there's a lot of NFL players that have their sons playing on NFL and NBA players. Okay, shout out to Norland. They lost 45-20 against Chaminade. That's one of my upset alerts where I was wrong. But I wasn't wrong about the alert, because they were very competitive in this game. It's just the second half, Chaminade pulled away. But you also saw the Twins, the Desire Twins. They were doing big time things at the end. It was too much with Chaminade, having a lot going on. They got UM commits. They got 5 stars for next year. You know, it's a lot going on with Chaminade. But this is earlier in the game when Northern would make it 20-31. So this is another pick. Remember, Northern said they got the best DB coach in the nation. I don't know. He may be. There was a lot of interceptions. They just were not able to capitalize as much off them as they wanted to. But let's go to earlier in the game. This is the DB coach that, he says he's the best in the nation. I don't know. I mean, his kids are getting pick sixes. This is the second week in a row. But that's the problem with Northern. Can they do enough on offense on their own without the defense scoring for them? Because, if you take away that pick six, they really only score like 14 points, 13 points. So shout out to Gerard Smith. He's a 2025 player. He's had 4 interceptions in the last 2 weeks, and 2 of them went back for touchdowns. If it wasn't for his pick six against Northwestern, they wouldn't have won that game. Northwestern game against Columbus, I believe, was canceled for weather, and so was the Booker T game against Lakeland. That's going to be my show for the day. That's the picks down bottom. We got Miami, Clemson, Cal, Arkansas, Utah, USC. You see the rest, Vatech. So make sure you go put in those picks. My name is TY Sports. No, TY24 Sports. I'm sorry, I gotta remember the new name. Yeah, TY24 Sports. So everybody, TY24 Sports. You can also find me at TY Sports Picks, but now I'm going by TY24 Sports. So it's easier to find on YouTube and on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, everywhere. It's gonna be TY24 Sports. It's the same page, even better content. So please put in those picks. Please donate to the Cash App, $ TY Rebel 22 on Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You got at TY24 Sports or at TY Sports Picks 24. But I would just go with the TY24 Sports. It's easier, it goes smooth off the tongue, and it's a lot of tie sports, but there's only one TY24 Sports. So let me put the picks up one more time. You guys go lock those in. Have a great Saturday. So we got Miami, Clemson, Cal, Arkansas, Utah, USC, Cincinnati, Kansas, and Virginia Tech.